Welcome and thank you for joining us. Today, we gather to honor six extraordinary American legends whose lives have left an indelible mark on the worlds of art and culture. These people didn't just create, they inspired, blazed new trails, and gave us moments that will stay in our hearts for a lifetime. Maggie Taberer, the iconic Australian model, television presenter, and entrepreneur whose name became synonymous with style and elegance, has died on the 6th of December 2024, aged 87. Her contributions to fashion and media left an indelible mark, inspiring generations of Australians and shaping the modern fashion industry. Born on December 11, 1936 in Adelaide, South Australia, to Margaret and Clarence Trieger, she grew up in humble circumstances, but already in her youth she showed an interest in fashion and art. Her career began unexpectedly. At the age of 23, Maggie was spotted by the famous photographer Helmut Newton, who saw her potential and helped her take her first steps in the modeling business. This moment was a turning point, and she soon became one of Australia's most famous models, receiving the title of Model of the Year in 1960. As her career progressed, Taberer moved from the catwalk to working in the media. In the 1970s, she launched her own television show, Maggie, which brought her recognition and popularity. For this show, she was awarded the prestigious Gold Logie Award twice. During this time, she became a style icon, demonstrating to her audience that fashion is accessible to everyone and has no age or physical limitations. In 1981, Maggie became head of fashion at the Australian Women's Weekly, one of the country's most widely read publications. She remained in the position until 1996, bringing her own style vision to the publication, reflecting elegance and functionality. That same year, she founded her own fashion brand, Maggie T, which specialized in stylish and comfortable clothing for plus-size women, making her a true innovator in the industry. Her personal life was eventful. She married twice. Her first husband was Charles Taberer, with whom she had a long and fruitful relationship that ended in divorce in 1977. Her second marriage to John Singer lasted until 1984. She later had a partnership with Richard Zacharias that lasted until 1995. In 1998, Maggie was appointed a member of the Order of Australia, AM, for her outstanding contribution to fashion and media. Her contribution to the industry and her efforts to promote fashion to all segments of the population have made her a legend. Maggie Taberer passed away a few days before her 88th birthday, leaving behind a rich legacy in the worlds of fashion and television. Her elegance, professionalism, and passion for her craft will be remembered for many years to come. She will remain an example for those who strive for success despite difficulties, and an inspiration for those who believe in the power of style as a way of self-expression. Benny Golson, legendary American jazz tenor saxophonist, composer and arranger whose name became synonymous with the greatest achievements in bebop and hard bop, died on November 21, 2024, at the age of 95. His contribution to the development of jazz music is invaluable, and his compositions such as I Remember Clifford, Whisper Not, and Killer Joe have become classics performed by musicians around the world. Born on January 25, 1929, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to a family with a rich musical heritage, Golson showed an interest in music from a young age, beginning his studies with the piano. However, at the age of 14, inspired by a performance by saxophonist Arnett Cobb, he switched to the tenor saxophone. In high school, Benny studied alongside future jazz stars such as John Coltrane and Jimmy Heath, which created a solid foundation for his future career. He later continued his education at Howard University, where he deepened his knowledge of music theory and composition. In the 1950s, Golson began his professional career in the big bands of Lionel Hampton and Dizzy Gillespie. It was during this period that he distinguished himself not only as a performer, but also as an outstanding composer. In 1958, he joined Art Blakey's famous Jazz Messengers, where he created some of his most famous compositions. In 1959, together with trumpeter Art Farmer, he founded the iconic ensemble the Jazztet, which became an important milestone in the history of jazz. In the 1960s, Golson moved to Los Angeles and focused on writing music for film and television. His work includes scores for popular series such as MAS*H and Mission: Impossible. His ability to create catchy, memorable melodies made him in demand in Hollywood. Throughout his life, Golson has received numerous awards and recognitions. In 1996, he was awarded the NEA Jazzmaster title, the highest jazz honor in the United States. In 2021, he received the Grammy Trustees Award for his outstanding contribution to music. His autobiography, Whisper Not, published in 2016, sheds light on his life and work, chronicling his journey from a young saxophonist to a global jazz icon. Despite his age, Benny Golson continued to perform and record, inspiring musicians with his skill and deep devotion to jazz. He was not only a musician but also a mentor to many performers, sharing his experience and wisdom with them. His death was a great loss to the world of music. However, his legacy is his works, his recordings, and his influence, which continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Benny Golson will go down in history as one of the greatest masters of jazz, whose music will be heard for many generations to come. Colin Chilvers, the legendary British special effects specialist, whose work transformed the visual arts of cinema, died on November 19, 2024, at the age of 79. His contributions to cinema left an indelible mark, and his name became synonymous with innovation and technical excellence. Born in 1945 in England, Colin had an interest in visual effects and cinematography from a young age, which led him to the entertainment industry. His career began in the 1960s when he worked as an assistant on film sets, where he acquired his first skills in creating special effects. Over time, he became one of the most sought-after specialists in this field. Chilvers is best known for his work on Superman, 1978, where he created groundbreaking visual effects, including Christopher Reeve's iconic flying scenes. This work earned him a Special Academy Award for his achievements in special effects in 1979. Chilvers' effects set a new standard for superhero films that continue to inspire modern filmmakers today. His other notable credits include The Rocky Horror Picture Show, 1975, Condorman, 1981, and contributing to the visual effects for X-Men, 2000. He also directed the Smooth Criminal segment in Michael Jackson's cult classic Moonwalker, 1988, which is still considered one of the most impressive music videos ever made. Chilvers was not only a master of special effects, but also a talented director. His work was distinguished by its creative approach and use of innovative technologies, which made him a pioneer in his field. Colleagues remember him as a tireless experimenter who always strived for perfection and never rested on his laurels. In his later years, Chilvers lived in Fort Erie, Ontario, Canada, where he continued to share his expertise with young professionals. His passing was a great loss to the world film industry, which lost one of its most distinguished masters. Colin Chilvers leaves behind a rich legacy that continues to inspire new generations of directors, special effects artists, and audiences around the world. His work changed the perception of what was possible in cinema, and his name will forever remain in cinematic history as a symbol of technical progress and creative courage. Ken Page, a prominent American actor and singer, whose career spanned more than 5 decades, died on September 30, 2024, at the age of 70. His deep baritone voice, charismatic stage presence, and significant contributions to theatrical and cinematic arts made him one of the most memorable figures in the world of entertainment. Born January 20th, 1954 in St. Louis, Missouri, Ken showed an interest in music and theater from an early age, participating in school plays and local musical events. His talent and tenacity brought him to New York City, where he made his Broadway debut in 1975, playing the lion in the legendary musical The Wiz. This role brought him his first recognition, opening the doors for his further success. In 1978, he was part of the original production of the musical Ain't Misbehavin', for which he won the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actor in a Musical. His performance on stage was praised by critics as energetic, heartfelt, and sincere, cementing his reputation as one of the leading actors in musical theater. Another iconic role in his career was that of Old Deuteronomy in the original Broadway production of the musical Cats in 1982. His performance of the iconic song, The Ad-Dressing of Cats, became one of the most memorable moments of the show, winning the hearts of the audience. Ken Page has also made significant contributions to film. He is best known for voicing the character Oogie Boogie in Tim Burton's animated film The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. His powerful voice and charismatic performance made Oogie Boogie one of the most beloved and recognizable characters in the film. He has also voiced characters in films such as All Dogs Go to Heaven, 1989, and had a prominent role in the musical film Dreamgirls, 2006. Off-stage and screen, Ken was known as an active supporter of LGBT rights. His open stance and contribution to the fight for equality made him an important figure for many people. His colleagues and friends remember him as a kind, inspiring, and always sincere person. The death of Ken Page is a great loss to the theater and film worlds. His talent and dedication to the arts inspired many, and his work continues to delight audiences around the world. His legacy lives on in his roles, music, and influence on the industry, and his name will forever be a symbol of talent, professionalism, and love for the arts. Mitzi Gaynor, legendary American actress, the singer and dancer, whose career spanned more than 8 decades, died on November 17, 2024, at the age of 93. Her name is forever linked to the golden age of Hollywood musicals, and her performances became the standard of brilliance, talent, and elegance. Born September 4, 1931, in Chicago, Illinois, to Hungarian violinist Henry Dikshani von Gerber and dancer Pauline, the family moved to Hollywood when Mitzi was just 11 years old. There, she began professional ballet training, performing with the Los Angeles Operetta at age 13. Her natural talent and charisma made her a prominent figure on stage and paved the way for her career in film. At the age of 17, she signed a contract with 20th Century Fox and made her debut in My Blue Sky, 1950. This film launched her illustrious film career, which included such projects as We're Not Married, 1952, Some Like It Hot, 1954, and The Birds and the Bees, 1956. However, it was her role as Nellie Forbush in the film version of the musical South Pacific, 1958, that brought her international fame. Her performance in the role earned her a Golden Globe nomination and made her a star of the first magnitude. In the 1960s and 1970s, Mitzi continued to shine, creating her own television shows. Her programs such as Mitzi, 1968, and Mitzi, Zings into Spring, 1977, became real events on American television, and her vocal and dance numbers continued to win the hearts of viewers. Her flamboyant performances and professionalism inspired millions, and her shows regularly received high marks from critics. In her personal life, Gaynor was devoted to her husband Jack Bean, whom she married in 1954. He not only became her husband but also her manager, supporting her career for decades. Their union lasted until Bean's death in 2006. The couple had no children, but their love and partnership served as an example to many. Mitzi Gaynor passed away in Los Angeles of natural causes, leaving behind a legacy that will inspire generations to come. Her vibrant personality, incredible talent, and contributions to the development of musical cinema remain an important part of the cultural heritage of the United States. Her name will live on in history as a symbol of an era when musicals dominated the big screen, and her art will continue to delight and inspire audiences, reminding them of the power of beauty and talent. Roy Owen Haynes, legendary jazz drummer, whose career spanned more than 8 decades, died on November 22, 2024, at the age of 99. His innovative playing style, virtuosity, and contributions to the development of jazz made him one of the most influential figures in the history of this music. Born March 13, 1925 in Boston, Massachusetts, Roy showed an interest in music from an early age and began playing drums as a teenager, performing in local jazz clubs. In 1945, he moved to New York City, where he quickly became a sought-after musician. His first major collaboration was with Lester Young, and he later became part of the ensembles of Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Miles Davis, which set him on his path to becoming one of the greatest jazz drummers. In the 1950s, Haynes earned the nickname Snap Crackle for his unique snare drum style. His approach to rhythm, combining innovation and tradition, was inimitable. He was able to adapt to various styles, from swing to bebop and avant-garde. During his career, he worked with jazz legends such as John Coltrane, Sarah Vaughan, Stan Getz, and Thelonious Monk. His ability to find new rhythmic solutions made each of his performances unique. Haynes was not only an outstanding accompanist but also a successful band leader. His hip ensemble, formed in the 1970s, was a major influence on the development of jazz fusion. Notable among his albums are Fountain of Youth and Whereas, both of which were nominated for Grammy Awards. His work has received recognition and numerous awards, including induction into the Modern Drummer magazine Hall of Fame in 1999. Roy Haynes had a huge impact on the music industry, not only as a performer, but also as a mentor. His sons, Graham Haynes and Craig Holliday Haynes, and grandson, Marcus Gilmore, have continued the family musical tradition, becoming well-known musicians in their own right. Haynes passed away in Nassau County, New York, leaving behind a rich legacy. His rhythms, innovative drumming, and contributions to jazz will inspire musicians for generations to come. The name Roy Haynes will forever remain a symbol of mastery and creative freedom in the world of jazz. His music will continue to resonate in the hearts of millions of fans around the world, reminding us of the power of art to unite and inspire. Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States, has always attracted great interest from the public and the press, including close attention to his health. His physical and mental health have often been topics of discussion, especially in the context of his age, intense lifestyle, and public appearances. Lifestyle and health. Before the presidency, born June 14, 1946, in New York City, Trump demonstrated an active and energetic personality from a young age. Despite his commitment to business, he never hid his love for fast food, especially McDonald's. This fact was often used by critics to speculate about his potential cardiovascular and weight problems. Trump was an avid sportsman in his youth, including playing baseball, but as he aged, physical activity became less of a priority. He has often said in interviews that he considers himself a naturally healthy person and has never needed to follow strict diets or exercise intensively. But by the time he took office in 2017, questions were being raised about the impact of his lifestyle on his health, presidency, and the first signals. In 2018, A White House physical by Dr. Ronnie Jackson found that Trump had elevated cholesterol, and doctors recommended that he overhaul his diet and exercise more. However, Trump has scoffed at the advice, claiming that his mental alertness and busy schedule make up for his lack of exercise. Another wave of discussion was his behavior at public events. Observers noted that he sometimes looked tired and his speech became less clear. This gave rise to many speculations, including possible neurological problems, which, however, were never officially confirmed. COVID-19 and the fight for health. The most serious episode in his medical history was his hospitalization with COVID-19 in October 2020. The disease was complicated and Trump required intensive treatment, including experimental drugs like Regeneron and Remdesivir. His stay at Walter Reed drew worldwide attention, and reports about his health were often conflicting. Despite official statements that the president was recovering quickly, insiders reported that the disease was more severe than was presented in the press. After his recovery, Trump repeatedly stated that he felt stronger than ever, although experts noted that COVID-19 can have long-term consequences for the body. Later years and mental health issues. Trump's health has remained a topic of debate since his presidency ended in 2021. Questions about his mental state were raised during his presidency, especially in the context of his erratic decisions and outspoken statements. Doctors and psychologists have discussed the possibility that he may have narcissistic personality disorder, but these claims have not been substantiated. In 2023, Trump said he had changed his habits, including his diet, and had started exercising more, which had helped him lose weight. However, in 2024, reports that he had refused to provide his most recent medical examination data sparked a new wave of speculation about his condition. Conclusion: Donald Trump remains a colorful and controversial figure in American politics. His health, both physical and mental, continues to be a subject of interest, fueled by a lack of full transparency in his own statements. Regardless of his condition, Trump remains energetic, continuing to actively participate in political and public life, making him one of the most discussed politicians of our time.